Well, good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Grab yourself a cup of something or other, whatever you drink. I'm on my second cup of blackout espresso this morning. Drinking it out of a Stone Mont mug. Somebody asked me, they said, "Boy, I really like that mug." He says, "That's a good handle." I don't like any cup or mug that I can't get at least 3 fingers in. I agree with that because you want to be able to hold it, right? I can get all 4 in there, and I got pretty good sized hands. I wear extra large gloves, and you can get this and a whole lot of other of our very cool mugs on our website, stonemont.us. If you'd like, let me take a sip and we'll get into this. And also, I should remind you, this is brought to you by our sponsor, my books, the Stone Mont series. If you haven't read them yet and you are interested in either real preparedness or just a great post-apocalyptic story and you haven't read them, this is what you want to do next. I'll tell you how to get them in a few minutes, and another announcement about that. What I want to talk about today is this. Something happened yesterday, the day before, whenever, that might portend what I believe to be the end of America. Everybody is talking about the wars. Everybody's worried about the wars right around the world. And, I don't believe that there's going to be a war. I know that everybody's been building up to this World War III. I don't believe that for any number of reasons, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But the danger that we really have in front of us is the danger within, and it is what's been percolating, what's been culminating in our country for a very long time. You might guess that what I'm talking about was the victory in New York's Democrat primary for mayor in New York City of what's his name, Zoran Mamdani, right? Zoran Mamdani. There's more to this guy than you might know, and it's very, very dangerous. First off, he's a communist, and he's a Muslim, and you put those two together, and boy, I tell you, you start getting some bubbling up that portends some problems in the future. And I'm going to read you something. I want to read you something. By the way, before I even get into this, I want to suggest to you that I believe that militant Islam is the greatest danger of our country, of the continued survival of our country. And I don't believe America is going to survive it. I know, that's a terrible thing to say, isn't it? I'm as much an America lover as any of you have been since I was born 71 years ago. Well, until I knew what America was, maybe by the time I was 4. But I love America. I love America. I love what it stands for. I love what it was supposed to be. I don't love what it has become. I don't love its government, but I love the concept of America. And I think that in one way or another, America will continue, but not in the corporate form it has today. And I think this is what has a tendency to bring it down. I want to read something here. Oh, I was going to say before I even get into this, I would suggest that you read Brigitte Gabriel's material. She's been on this for years and years and years. She has been warning about the threat of Islam in the United States and worldwide. We've seen what's happened in Europe, and it's happening here, and it's coming here more. But she has been warning about this for years. If you don't know who she is, what did she? Her website or her group is it Act Now America, something like that. Just Google her, Brigitte Gabriel. And when I put this video up on the Patreon channel, I'll put that link there so that everybody can go there. Okay, if you're not with us on the Patreon channel, by the way, you need to be. The link is down below. I put a lot of stuff over there that I don't put on YouTube. And if you want to be truly informed and entertained and all sorts of other things, it'll be the best $1 or $5 or whatever you want a month that you'll ever spend. Well, today I came upon an article on the Rare Foundation USA. And it goes into more detail of something that I have said before, and that is the danger of this particular brand of Islam that this Zoran Mamdani apparently supports. So I'm going to read a little bit of this to you, and then I will discuss it. Okay, Zoran Kwame Mamdani, the Democratic nominee for New York City mayor, is embracing an Islamic end times ideology that sees chaos and war as the path to global domination, and he's on track to run America's biggest city. That's the truth. We know that Minnesota has already fallen. Michigan has pretty much fallen. That doesn't mean there aren't places out there, and many great Minnesotans and many great Michiganders, is that what you call, out there who are living their lives like Americans should. But when you get into the cities, and the cities are what run the states, you cannot get away from that. That's simple it is. And that's the problem, that the things being run by the cities have an adverse effect on those great people living out in the small towns and the country. Okay, but we know that Michigan's gone under, Minnesota's gone under, New York's gone under, California's gone under. I had a real hateful comment from some idiot in California the other day. But I know he's not representative of most of the Californians out there, fine people, just like everywhere. So let me talk about this. I'm going to read this and we'll talk about it. In what many are calling a national security alarm bell, former CIA operations officer Claire Lopez has issued a dire warning about New York City mayor candidate Zoran Kwame Mamdani. The Democratic Socialist and sitting New York State Muslim Assemblyman member just clinched the Democrat nomination after disgraced former Governor Andrew Cuomo withdrew from the race. And this is from the Rare Foundation USA. With New York City's deep blue political makeup, Mamdani is now poised to become the next mayor, and according to Lopez, that could spell disaster. And not just disaster for New York City, but for New York as a state, and it's just another nail in the coffin of America. In an exclusive interview with Rare Foundation USA, Lopez, a seasoned intelligence expert and president of Lopez Liberty LLC, explained the ideological and theological underpinnings of Mamdani's belief system, which she warns is far more dangerous than mainstream media acknowledges. That's exactly right. I've talked about this, but I'm going to say what she says. Mamdani is very openly, profoundly communist and profoundly Islamic, said Lopez. And based on his own public tweet, he appears to identify with the most apocalyptic and dangerous sect of Islam, Twelver Shiism. Are you all familiar with Twelver Shiism? Well, they want to bring Armageddon, okay? The end of the world. I'm going to read here kind of what it is. Okay, in a November 26, 2019 post, Mamdani tweeted, "Got mad love for my Ishmaelis," that's Muslims. They are the descendants of Ishmael, if you all read the Bible, okay? And but I'm actually Ithna Asheri. Okay. According to Lopez, that casual statement is a coded theological reference. What he's saying is that he's a follower of the 12th Imam. Listen up. In Arabic, Ithna Ashari means 12er, referring to the sect of Shia Islam dominant in Iran. Twelver Shiism is the official state religion of the Islamic Republic of Iran and promotes an apocalyptic belief in the eventual return of a hidden imam known as the Mahdi. Some of you have seen this guy up on Twitter or whatever claiming he's the Mahdi. I don't believe it. Who will return to establish global Islamic rule. The leadership in Tehran believes they can hasten the Mahdi's return by creating chaos and war on earth, Lopez warned, and Mamdani is publicly signaling his allegiance to this worldview. Okay, that's the important thing. They want, and I've said this before, the people that say that Iran can be reasoned with, they want war. The war is the path to their paradise. That's what too many Americans just won't understand. So what is 12er Shiism? This goes on to say, 12er Shiism teaches that after the death of the Prophet Muhammad, leadership of the Muslim world should pass through his bloodline, father to son. The 12th Imam in that line reportedly vanished as a young boy in the 9th century. According to 12er belief, he did not die but entered occultation, a hidden state, and will return at the end of times as the Mahdi to usher in an era of Islamic justice. Lopez explained that this theology is not just metaphysical, it drives Iran's foreign policy and terrorist sponsorships. They are actually trying to bring about Armageddon, Lopez said, and Mamdani, based on his tweet, aligns himself with this belief system. She referenced the infamous quote from Iran's revolutionary founder Ayatollah Khomeini, "Let this land burn. I say let this land go up in smoke so long as Islam is triumphant in the rest of the world." Lopez emphasized that this is not merely a personal religious matter. We're not talking about someone's private faith. We're talking about an ideological framework that explicitly seeks global domination through religious and political means. If Mamdani is a 12er, which he is, then his goals are aligned with the regime in Tehran and the radical Shia agenda of confrontation, subversion, and chaos. Mamdani's close ties to socialist groups and Islamic front organizations such as CARE, Engage, and others add another layer of concern. As Lopez puts it, it's the red-green axis, the Marxist collectivism fused with Islamic theocracy. With Mamdani now as the Democratic nominee, the odds are strong that he will become mayor of America's largest city, a terrifying prospect to those who understand the implications of 12er Shiite ideology. He could be the most dangerous mayor in American history, Lopez warned, not just because of policy, but because of what his beliefs will allow and even compel him to support. The goal of 12er radicals, Lopez noted, is to impose Islamic rule, not merely to govern alongside other world views. Rare asked Lopez to contrast Islamic end-time theology with Christian eschatology. Her response was chilling. In Christianity, human beings cannot hasten the return of Jesus. In Shiite Islam, particularly among the 12ers, it is believed that by creating enough war, destruction, and suffering, they can force the Mahdi to return. That's not faith, that's revolutionary warfare cloaked in religion, and it's exactly what Zohran Mamdani appears to represent. She goes on, she said, New Yorkers must wake up. Well, I'll upper that and say Americans must wake up. Americans just don't get it, to be honest. The vast majority of Americans never realize the danger until it's too late. And with something like this, it very well, it may already be too late. Okay. Some of you who have read my books know that I write about this in my books. Now, my books are about the total collapse of everything, right? And well, maybe I should hold them up now. And I have an announcement. My books, the Stone Moss series, are about a complete collapse of everything as a result of a CME, a coronal mass ejection, and how one family who was prepared was able to not only live well, continue to live well after that, but to help other people and start rebuilding communities and societies. It's a great story. Like I say, if you haven't read it and you like great stories, if you really want to get deep into learning about how to separate yourself from the system and preparedness, and you haven't read them, this should be the next thing you do. I don't have all of them in my hand. I actually had to send out a few of my personal copies in an order yesterday, because yesterday I was signing copies and shipping more out. But I get into this in these books where even after a collapse of everything, and this is to those people who say, I just wish everything would fall apart, because then, that would take care of all of our problems. No, it wouldn't. Our problems would increase in many ways. And in my book, I talk about the the Muslim, well, they're a Somali warlord up in Minnesota, a self-styled caliph who wants to establish a new caliphate, a Muslim caliphate, in America after the collapse of everything. And I talk about how he enslaves all of Minnesota and slaughters them and enslaves them, comes down through Iowa. He's coming down towards Stonemont. He's coming down through Nebraska and Iowa. And he wants to establish this new Muslim caliphate in the United States. Well, we have that happening in our country right now. We have it happening politically. And if you see the number of really militant Muslims that are already in our Congress, you understand that. And with the election of Mamdani, it could really take another step. What I wanted to say here, you can get these books if you haven't read them, either one or two ways. You can either get them through Amazon, that link is down below, or you can get them directly from me, which I love you to do. I'm going to give you a warning on that, but an announcement. If you get them through me directly, you can get them the whole set as a set. You can't get that through Amazon, and you get them at a discount. But then I sign each one for you, and I write a little note in each one for you, and I love doing that because it makes me kind of know you, kind of know who you are, and I have a personal relationship with you in that way. However, here's the warning. We are still running a month or so late in fulfilling orders because we've had so many orders come in over the last couple of months. And so if you're willing to wait, I love you to get them from me. If you can't wait, get them through Amazon. But if you're willing to wait a month, we're trying to tighten this up. We're doing our best. If you're willing to wait a little bit, get them through me through our website, stonemont.us. Then, like I said, I get to sign them for you. I get to write a note in there to you. And you know, you'll still be happy when you get them late. But a couple of things. We have changed a couple of the ways that we are, because we're trying to fix this problem of being so far behind on our order fulfillment. So we've done a couple of things. I'm not going to get into the details, but we have done a couple of things that are improving both our ordering process, our delivery from the printer, that I think is going to help a lot, and also the way that we ship. Okay, so we've made a couple of changes on there that I hope, and I think it will, is going to improve order fulfillment a lot. For those of you who have been waiting patiently, thank you. I'm glad. I loved yesterday when I was signing books to people who I know have been waiting so long, and then we're expecting our next shipment in from the printer here in the next week or so, something like that. I'm not sure. We're at the mercy of the printer, to be honest. And as soon as those come in, that I send out more. But anyway, we'll catch up. We'll catch up one of these days. But if you want them from me, stonemont.us. So the thing that I want to stress here is that the takeover, the potential Muslim takeover of America, and some people are going to think this is crazy. It's not crazy. The potential Muslim takeover of America is in progress, and the danger is not, well, let me say this. Of course, the danger is always the perpetrator, right? But the real danger are those who allow it. And the American people, we have too many stupid Americans. I'll just put it that way. If you saw the crowd, and somebody made the statement, look at all the crazies, the supporters of this guy, they're all white females. That is a problem, especially in the cities. It's not a problem out in the country, in the small towns. You women are great, right? But when you get into the cities, and even to a lesser extent to the suburbs, white women have been conditioned to fall for this crap, right? And this guy comes in and says he wants government-run grocery stores. He wants free this and free that and free everything in the world. And it just sounds great. It sounds like daddy government is going to take care of everything. And to an extent, this has been these people have been conditioned to think this is great because there have been such a demeaning of males over the years. That is an entirely different subject. But as these unhappy people uh, congregate and come together and support these people, they are the ones who are supporting the enemy within. They are the useful or useless idiots. I'm not sure whether we're past the tipping point or not. I'm hoping that we're not, but I'm planning as if we are. And I would suggest you do too. As this continues to progress, as we continue to have our eyes on other things like wars overseas and the racial divide that they're trying to drive in here with us again, the anti-white hatred that's coming out in so much of the Twitterverse and Facebook and Facebook. I don't see Facebook very much, but it is on there, and YouTube and all that. This is the enemy that's lurking and working beneath the surface, and this is an enemy that is extremely intelligent, extremely organized, extremely focused, and very good at motivating the weak people in our country. And I'll be honest, we have more weak people than strong people. I know that there's this idea, the American spirit, well, thankfully we still have some strong Americans around. But man, do we have a lot of weak ones, right? And so I think that this is something to be taken seriously. I would suggest that if you don't understand what's going on with the Muslim incursion into the United States, I suggest you look at it. Many of you have written me and in your comments talking about in Texas or here or there or everywhere. You have mosques just exploding everywhere. We have a huge Islamic center not far from me. They're taking over politically, and when they finally reach that point of no return, this country will change forever, and America will be done. It will be over. Okay. So that's what I want to warn you about. Learn about this. Study this. Follow Brigitte Gabriel. Follow many others. There's a lot of people talking about this. A lot of people in the preparedness world are not, and I don't know, how aware they are of this. I hope they get more aware. But it's in my opinion the greatest danger on our horizon. It's not just on the horizon. It's up here working at us, right here. Okay. All right. Well. One more time, I'll remind you, if you haven't read them, you will like them. You'll learn more than you can shake a stick at, and you'll love the story, either through Amazon or directly from me through our website, stonemind.us. Be willing to wait a little bit if you do that, but I love it when you do that. And think about this. Think about, how do you prepare for this? My books will help you prepare on that. Okay? All right. Hey. You all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Put this on your list of concerns and put it at the top, because it is the thing that can bring us down. All right? You all have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.